Welcome back to Spreadsheeting 101. This is part 3, and we're going to focus on taking a spreadsheet and a chart and embedding it inside of a blog or a website. We'll begin by cleaning up this sheet a tiny bit by centering the column headings. And it's very important to keep your work here as narrow as possible because a lot of blogs are smaller. So I'm going to narrow up some of the columns that don't need to be quite so wide. I can also take my chart and make it a little narrower. I have some extra columns here that are not being used out to the side, and it's not a bad idea to highlight your columns and take it all the way to the right, and then right click or command click on a Mac and delete the unnecessary columns. It makes the web page narrower because the web page will be created, or the embedding, based upon the width of what you're working with here. It's called Sheet 5, and I'd like this to be something a little more relevant. So I'm going to open it up and rename this Embed in Blog, so it has more meaning to me. These can also be moved around if you have multiple sheets. So on to embedding. As with any Google product, to post it and create a URL, share, publish as a web page. Open up the possibilities and make sure you select the correct sheet. This particular one that we want is embedding in a blog, and I'm going to republish it now so that it updates the address. If you would like to make this a web page link, there's the coding. Simply copy it with Command or Control C. Then retake this and put it back into our blog post. So we use Google Sheets to quickly grab data and use the basic tools to manage the data and create a chart. In order to analyze the trends, it would be nice if we could view them right inside of this blog post. If one was to return to the actual Google Sheet and do some updating, it would also instantly update whatever happens here. So it's called dynamic. So I'm going to link to our sheet and chart, highlight it and select the chain or link option, and paste what it gave us, Command or Control V, and now that links to a web page. I would also like to see it inside of this blog, and that's called embedding. So I'm going to go right back to the Excel data sheet, and instead of getting this published as a web page, I am going to HTML to embed in a page. Look at this carefully because it's an essential decision that needs to be made. I want to create the HTML to embed in a page. There is the coding. Just simply copy it, and this is HTML coding. Go back to the blog, and I'm no longer composing. We are editing HTML. One must select the Edit HTML and just simply go to the bottom and paste it. Just paste the coding it gave you. The width of 500 is probably just fine. However, a height of 300 is not very tall. You might want to make it around 600 or 700, which creates less scrolling. Publish, view, and we're done. There's our blog post. You can start to analyze it now. One can see the data. One can hover over Charlie or Queen or Kathleen. If one was to update the sheet, it would be updated in here when it's refreshed. And you could also link to the sheet and chart by clicking here. That goes to the web page link that you made. And notice how it can be viewed also.